Tonight, a special edition of World News Tonight. We're on the scene of that deadly mass shooting at a grocery store here in Buffalo, New York. Authorities say this was a racist hate crime. And all of this tonight amid breaking news at this hour, reports of yet another mass shooting, this time in California at a church. Here in Buffalo, New York, the 18-year-old suspect charged with murder, accused of killing 10 people. All of them were black. Tonight, the mayor of Buffalo now saying the suspect wanted to take as many black lives as he possibly could, opening fire outside the grocery store, then moving inside. Authorities say he planned the attack, driving from about 200 miles away. The 180-page document he allegedly posted online, filled with racist and anti-Semitic comments. President Biden tonight calling the assault a, quote, racially motivated act of white supremacy, describing the suspect as a hate-filled soul. And we're learning tonight about the victims, 32 to 86 years old, including the beloved security guard, a retired police lieutenant working security at the store, confronting the gunman, shooting him. But the gunman had body armor, and police say the suspect then killed that guard. Stephanie Ramos, right here on the scene tonight. Inside the moments of terror, we're now hearing from some of the survivors who were inside the grocery store when the gunshots began. They could hear the shots getting closer. One mother telling me she was shopping with a family member. She ran to find a back exit. He ran to a meat freezer where he hid. Our interview right here tonight. The hate crime investigation now underway tonight. Sources telling ABC News racial slurs and the names of previous mass shooters were written on his gun and his prior history with police, accused of threatening behavior before around his high school graduation. Tonight you will hear from his former classmates describing the student they knew. Pierre Thomas, right here in Buffalo. The other awful story unfolding as we come on the air tonight, news of a shooting at a church in California. Reports of multiple victims shot, one person detained. A second major shooting in America this weekend. The war in Ukraine tonight and what a new report reveals about the scope of Russian losses. Tonight, Finland and now Sweden also defying Russian threats, closer to joining NATO. And back here at home tonight, we are tracking severe storms in the next 24 hours, damaging winds and large hail in several states. The system moving to the East Coast tomorrow, from Washington, D.C. to Philadelphia to New York. A special edition of World News Tonight begins now.
From ABC News, this is a special edition of World News Tonight with David Muir, reporting tonight from Buffalo, New York.
And good evening on this Sunday night. We begin the week one night earlier with you because of a simply horrific scene that played out here in Buffalo, New York this weekend. A deadly mass shooting at this grocery store right behind me, and now news of another mass shooting tonight, this time at a church in California. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But we do begin here in Buffalo, where authorities say this was clearly driven by racist hate. The attack at this busy supermarket on Saturday afternoon, 10 people shot and killed, including several here in the parking lot before the gunman even got inside. The alleged attacker, 18 years old, armed with an assault rifle, wearing body armor, and who investigators say chose this supermarket several hours from his home, and that he did reconnaissance here the day before the attack. Authorities say it all began in the parking lot. He opened fire. One of the victims, an elderly woman, a mother who was inside the store, telling me a short time ago that she remembers walking past the woman as she went in, and when she came out, that woman was lying on the ground. The suspect, Peyton Gendron, taken into custody just feet from his victims. Gendron coming before a judge tonight, charged with one count of murder. Other charges, including hate crimes, are likely to follow. Investigators are now searching his home, interviewing his parents, combing his social media, and some of the chilling details of what they have found already. Tonight, in the neighborhood surrounding this supermarket, police are standing guard. It is also a scene of prayer. And we are learning the names of the victims. The youngest, 32 years old, Roberta Drury. The oldest, 86, Ruth Whitfield, the mother of a former Buffalo Fire Commissioner here. And the hero security guard, retired Buffalo Police Lieutenant Aaron Salter. He's being credited with saving lives before being shot and killed by the suspect himself. Tonight, President Biden saying the Justice Department is investigating this as a hate crime and a racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism. We have it all covered, and we begin with ABC's Stephanie Ramos right here on the scene in Buffalo tonight.
Tonight, Massacre in Buffalo. Vigils and memorials are held across the city in a day of pain. 10 people are shot dead, 3 others wounded in an apparent hate-fueled shooting rampage at a busy supermarket. President Biden today denouncing the white gunman's actions as domestic terrorism.
We must all work together to address the hate that remains a stain on the soul of America.
Suspect charged. The 18-year-old pleads not guilty. Police say he drove more than 200 miles to mount his attack. His sinister agenda detailed in an extremist manifesto. Staggering numbers, nearly 200 mass shootings this year and counting. The White House calls for action. Also tonight, battle for Ukraine. Russia intensifies attacks while NATO finds new allies in Finland and Sweden.
This is the CBS Weekend News with Jericka Duncan.
Good evening. I'm Jericka Duncan reporting tonight from Buffalo, New York. In this place known as the City of Good Neighbors, an outsider is suspected of conducting the nation's latest mass shooting and its deadliest one this year. 10 people were killed, 3 wounded in what officials are calling a racially motivated attack. It happened at this supermarket right behind me. Tonight, we're learning new details about the suspected gunman, Peyton Gendron. He appeared in court and pleaded not guilty to murder. Today in Washington, President Biden condemned the attack.
We're still gathering the facts, but already the Justice Department has stated publicly that it is investigating the matter as a hate crime, racially motivated act of white supremacy and violent extremism. As they do, we must all work together to address the hate.
Also tonight, multiple people were wounded when a gunman opened fire inside a church in Laguna Woods, California. But back here in Buffalo, a traumatized community is clearly grieving.
Tonight from Buffalo, New York, a city in shock, mourning 10 people shot and killed at a supermarket. New details on the terrifying rampage. Shoppers hiding inside the freezer. Police responding within minutes. Vigils today for the victims. The hero security guard who fought back. Grandmothers, volunteers, killed, authorities believe, because of the color of their skin.
This is an absolute racist hate crime.
The alleged gunman in custody. Investigators now combing through his racist online posts. We talked to a witness who spoke to him the day before when he was likely scouting the store. Police revealing tonight the suspected shooter was taken into custody a year ago for making threats at his high school. Also breaking right now, another mass shooting, this one at a church in California. The details coming in. Overseas, Russian missile attacks strike that steel plant in Mariupol as Finland makes it official. They're applying to join NATO. And Savannah Guthrie's exclusive interview with the passenger forced to land a plane after the pilot became incapacitated.
The plane is in a nosedive.
Correct. Yes. This is NBC Nightly News with Kate Snow, reporting tonight from Buffalo, New York.
Good evening. The words pure evil have been said a lot in the past 24 hours. The 10 victims of what's being investigated as a hate crime and a case of racially motivated violence were simply going to this grocery store on a Saturday afternoon when they were gunned down. They were parents, a deacon, a woman who ran a food bank. All but 2 of them were black. Authorities believe the heavily armed man who wore body armor and indiscriminately started shooting at shoppers had been planning this attack. He was here casing the area, they say, on Friday, 200 miles from his home. Yesterday afternoon, he live streamed the attack on Twitch briefly before it was taken down. Law enforcement is reviewing a document posted by the alleged shooter Thursday night. We'll have more on all of that in a moment. All day, we've seen people coming here to gather together, trying to comprehend the unthinkable loss for this community as the nation mourns.